The film begins by introducing a hitman named Lump, who has just returned home only to discover that his entire family has been brutally murdered by a ruthless mafia group. Consumed by rage and grief, Lump quickly arms himself with a sword, determined to seek revenge. He heads to the Mafia headquarters and upon arrival, shows no mercy, ruthlessly eliminating all the Mafia members. Once he's done with them, Lump sets his sights on the group's leaders, including the boss. With relentless determination, Lump manages to kill each one of them, leaving no survivors. 2 decades later, Lump leads a peaceful life doing odd jobs at the local market. After completing his daily chores, he returns to his modest home in a nearby village. During this time, Lump has remarried a widow and formed a close bond with her daughter, Hind. Though only her stepfather, Lump cares for Hind as if she were his own child. One day, Hind excitedly tells her mother that a man named Tind has offered her a job in the city. Upon hearing this, Hind's mother becomes worried and begins asking how long she's known Tind and what kind of job he offered. Hind explains that she met Tind just a week ago, but she trusts him. Despite her daughter's excitement, the mother insists that she should not go to the city, especially considering how new the relationship is. Tired of living in poverty in the village, Hind is determined to leave and becomes increasingly insistent, even scolding her parents for not supporting her. Lump tries to calm her down, explaining that her mother's concerns come from love and concern for her safety. However, Hind raises her voice and declares she will go to the city with or without their permission. Eventually, Lump reluctantly agrees but insists she keeps her mother updated. Soon after, Hind meets up with Tind and they leave together, catching the attention of a local tailor. That night, Lump and Hind's mother are filled with anxiety because they haven't heard from her. Finally, Hind calls to let them know she arrived safely and that everything is fine. Relieved, Hind's mother advises her to come back home as soon as her interview is over. Later, we see Hind waiting for her interview, chatting with a woman about the job. At that moment, Tind appears with some of his associates, revealing his sinister plan to sell Hind. Realizing the danger, Hind tries to escape but is captured by Tind's group. Meanwhile, Lump and Hind's mother grow increasingly worried as hours pass with no news. By 200 a.m., Hind's phone is no longer reachable. The next day, they decide to report her disappearance to the police. However, the authorities say they must wait 48 hours to start an investigation, citing a rise in missing girl cases and urging parents to be vigilant. Worried, Lump decides to search for Hind on his own, questioning neighbors who travel to the city for any sightings. After a day of asking around, a tailor informs him that he saw Hind get into a car with a suspicious man the day before. By coincidence, the tailor had taken a selfie with one of his clients, in which Tind clearly appears. Lump realizes Tind is responsible for Hind's disappearance. Lump seeks help from an old friend, Lou, leader of a local gang in the market who owed him a favor. Lump shows Lou the photo of Tind, and Lou is shocked to recognize him as the leader of a gang known for kidnapping young girls. Lou orders his men to track down Tind's location. A few hours later, Lump receives word that Tind is at a massage parlor. Lou offers to send men with him, but Lump politely declines, thanking him for the help. Lump heads to the massage parlor where he initially meets resistance but insists on entering. Before confronting Tind, he's attacked by Tind's henchmen, but Lump proves to be stronger and defeats them all. He finally enters Tind's room and demands to know where Hind is. Now defenseless, Tind admits that he sold Hind to an international mafia group and doesn't know her current location. However, he suggests that Lump look for a man named Think, who often hangs out at the central market and might have information. Without hesitation, Lump goes to the central market in search of Think. He finds him, but Think tries to flee, triggering a chase. Unfortunately, Think escapes when Lump accidentally crashes into a motorcycle. Later, Lump is detained and brought before a detective who escorts him to speak with the police chief. The police chief warns Lump to stop chasing Think, as the police are investigating the mafia group and fear Lump's involvement could interfere with the case. As Lump leaves the station, the chief orders the detective to follow him discreetly. Meanwhile, Lump's wife receives an unexpected visit from Tind's group, who are seeking revenge for the earlier incident with Lump. Tind directs his rage toward Lump's wife, leading to a violent confrontation. During the fight, Lump grows concerned for his wife's safety, which distracts him and allows Tyne's men to corner him. Just when things seem critical, a neighbor alerts them that the police have arrived, forcing Tyne's group to stop their assault. Also lurking nearby is a woman with blue hair who seems to be observing Lump's house. Lump's wife begs him to promise that he will save her daughter. Lump agrees and quickly rushes her to the hospital. The story then shifts to Hind, who is now imprisoned along with other girls, all destined to be sent to Cambodia to work as entertainers. That night, an international mafia boss named Tong is introduced. The blue-haired woman turns out to be one of Tong's trusted associates. Tong is furious with Tyne for selling Hind, who turns out to be Lump's stepdaughter. Tong mentions that Lump was a notorious hitman, feared even in the most dangerous criminal circles. He immediately orders the blue-haired woman to eliminate Tyne without delay. Meanwhile, Lump visits a man who was also once a hitman and confides that his daughter has been kidnapped by an international mafia group led by Tong. Tong has two loyal partners, Think and the blue-haired woman. Lump asks for information on how to find Tong, and the man reveals that Tong owns an art gallery downtown, making it a likely place to locate him. Without wasting time, Lump heads to the gallery. Before entering, he approaches a man outside and asks him to contact Lou if he doesn't return in an hour. He also gives the man his phone number and some money. Inside the gallery, Lump must confront Tong's henchmen, who are disguised as art statues. Despite their disguises, Lump's sharp instincts allow him to eliminate them one by one. He continues through the gallery, taking down Tong's men hidden among the statues. In the next room, Lump encounters a group of female warriors who are more formidable opponents. However, thanks to his exceptional skills, he manages to defeat them as well. As Lump prepares to search for Tong in another room, he is suddenly captured. Tong arrives at the scene with his henchmen, including Think. Tong remarks that he's aware of Lump's brutal past but believes Lump is now powerless and about to die. He orders Think to take Lump out of the gallery and kill him elsewhere to avoid bloodshed inside. After Tong leaves, Think savagely beats Lump and tells his men to take him away. Before doing so, Think reveals that he visited the hospital where Lump's wife was being treated, posed as a doctor, and murdered her brutally. To prove it, Think shows Lump his wife's necklace, confirming the terrible news. Consumed by rage and grief, Lump is about to retaliate, but Think subdues him with an electric shock. As Think and his men prepare to load Lump into a car, Lou's gang arrives just in time to rescue him. They quickly bring Lump back to their headquarters. The next morning, Lump regains consciousness and is surprised to find himself in Lou's base. Lump asks about his wife's condition, and Lou sadly informs him that she was killed. However, the most urgent matter now is to save Hind before she's taken out of the country. Lou reveals that Hind is on a ship heading abroad with Tong's group. Upon hearing this, Lump decides to rescue her. Although Lou insists on helping, Lump feels he's already done enough and declines the offer of further assistance. Soon after, Lump arrives at the port and boards a speedboat to pursue the ship carrying Hind. After a thorough search, he finally locates the ship and manages to board it undetected. Without hesitation, he begins eliminating Tong's henchmen one by one. As he moves to another cabin, Lump encounters a group of guards ready to face him. Outnumbered, he appears to be at a disadvantage. However, Lou's group arrives just in time to assist. Lou faces off against the blue-haired woman, who proves to be a formidable opponent. Just as Lou is about to be defeated, a detective, who had been following Lump under orders from the police chief, intervenes, and together they manage to kill the blue-haired woman. Meanwhile, Lump confronts Tong in a fierce battle. After an intense fight, Lump manages to incapacitate Tong. However, just as he prepares to deliver the final blow, Think attacks him from behind, sparking another brutal showdown. Despite the odds, Lump's determination drives him to defeat Think. At the same time, Lou tries to board the ship to rescue Hind and the other hostages. He finds them and successfully frees them. When Lump finally reunites with Hind, it's revealed that she had been held captive by Tong. In a critical moment, Hind bites Tong's hand, prompting Lump to attack him. However, Lump decides to spare Tong's life. As he walks away with Hind, Tong stabs him in the back, but Tong is ultimately shot and killed by the police chief, who had surrounded the ship with his officers. After receiving medical treatment, Lump regains consciousness. Following the incident, Lump and Hind return home and are seen praying for Lump's deceased wife. Hind deeply regrets not following her mother's advice, believing that none of this would have happened if she had listened. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell so you never miss a recap. See you in the next one.